Just let it go. When the hesitation's gone, no counting anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no need to be afraid. Maybe you're wondering how.
Have you ever thought buying real estate as a physician? I did it. I did it multiple times. I use physician's loans or doctor's loans. There's multiple lenders out there. They're desperate to lend you money. Desperate to lend you money. They get commissions on it, right? Like anything else. They're desperate to lend you money. I'm going to show you how many properties I got, what is the rental income, why I do it, what is the benefits, okay? How physicians can get rich with real estate. Real estate you can acquire for free. It will build equity. You are obtaining debt, and that debt is going to be basically evaporated by the inflation that we have, and it's coming. So this is one of the platforms that I use to manage all my properties. I have right there, you can see there is this 90% occupancy. It's very easy to manage. There's multiple of them. There's roughly probably like 25 online property management companies. The commission that you get, like the charges that they get, what they have for every property probably is like $4, $5 to manage your own properties. So if you have 5, it's $25 per month. That's the money that you're going to be spending. So 90% occupancy, the rents that I collect is up to $18,000, and then I'm prepping this final house that I have. Whenever that house is rented out, I'm gonna be collecting almost like $22,000 every month. $22,000 every month. From those $22,000 every month, I think like $5,600. It goes towards paying my principals that I have in all those houses, and then building equity. That's another thing. You build equity, you pay back your principal, and then you create some sort of cash flow, right? So all these acquisitions that were done with no money down, zero money down. Think about it. I put zero money down. I'm building equity. I have a massive amount of debt that is a shield against the inflation that is coming. And then it goes $5,000, $6,000 every month towards my principal. So in just 5 years, I'm able to accumulate more money than most of the physicians do with the freaking 401k, which it doesn't make any sense. This is the amount of properties that I have. So package type is as basic because I pay $4 per property to because I self-manage my properties. That's the amount of properties that I have. It doesn't really, I'm not giving you the address just for privacy purposes. Notes for the peasants. So the government only prints money, they don't print houses, right? If you think that the housing market is going to collapse, or the housing markets, it just went up like 25%, 20%. So if it drops another 5%, it really doesn't matter. The housing market is going up always. Rents are going up 2.5, 3.5, 3.5% every year. It doesn't matter. Why? Because AC units are going up, roofing is going up, paint is going up, plumbing is going up, electricity is going up, everything is going up. If you buy a house and you pay a mortgage of $3,000 today, in 10 years, $3,000 is going to be nothing. It's going to be just one shift in the hospital. Just going to be one shift. That's the amount of, the more houses that you acquire, the better, because you can leverage yourself. You can build equity massively. Right? Don't ever buy real estate with money. Whatever money you make in the hospital, that money you're gonna buy liquid assets such as stocks, such as Bitcoin, right? You're gonna keep yourself fully liquid all the time because you never know what is happening in the future. The real estate that you buy are gonna be small houses, 3 beds, 2 baths, something that you can build a studio and ADU in the back, like a mother-in-law unit in the back, something that you can modify anytime. So make sure that it doesn't have any HOA. Make sure that your house that you're buying, it doesn't have any pool. Make sure to buy houses thinking that you're gonna rent it out because one day life change and you're gonna move to another state, another place, another city, right? So don't listen to your wife when your wife says, I want to have my primary home, my dream house, so my mom, my dad can come in. You don't need a house. You're going to buy these houses as your primary home. You're going to live there for a year. You're going to keep moving. You're going to keep moving. You're going to keep moving. You're going to build equity. You're going to build a freaking portfolio. You're going to acquire 10, 20 houses in just 10 years, right? That's the way. How are you going to do it? You're going to build equity with real estate, and you're going to have your liquid asset portfolio, which is going to be your preferred stock. I'm not against stocks. If you find a stock that is really good, that you believe in the company, you know the CEO, you know how to read the P&L balance sheet, and then you follow all the quarter reports of the company. Buy the stock, buy something that you're gonna have very liquid, that you can pull a loan against your asset every time that you need it, right? Buy Bitcoin because it's fully liquid. You can liquidate anything, anytime, in any country, and you can create loans against your assets. Right? That's how you're going to live. The money of the future is always cheaper. Remember, the money of the future is always cheaper. This is a law. This is how it is. No, but the central bank, the Federal Reserve, no, because that's bad. If you don't like this freaking planet, move. Move to another planet. But this is how we live. This is an inflationary in the fiat world. The government only prints money and nothing else. Every asset, everything get liquidated. And who suffer is the middle and lower class. That's it. Whoever doesn't protect itself, it will die, right? The money of the future is always cheaper. Inflation eats assets. Inflation eats your stock. Inflation will eat your real estate. Inflation eats your bonds. Inflation eats everything. When inflation occurs, nobody wins except the ones that it has debt, because inflation will eat your debt. Right? That's why governments don't care. They just create debt because they know that the money of the future is cheaper. So they will be able to pay it easier, right? That's why you have to accumulate as much as possible. The sooner the better. The sooner the better is because with the physician's loans lending mechanisms that they have, you are only able to create loans for the first 10 years. Most of the lenders, there's like some, of course, there's some lenders that they have other requirements, but most of them, you have 10 years to acquire your primary home, right? The way how you're gonna do it is you're gonna buy your primary home, you're gonna live there 1 year, you're gonna work on that house, whatever, you're gonna keep moving to another house in another city, another neighborhood. It could be a bigger house. It could be a house that it has an extra room for your kids. You can say whatever you want. As soon as the underwriter approve it, you're going to get that loan for 100% finance. Then the house that you live in the back, you're just gonna rent it out and you're gonna keep moving until you build your real estate portfolio. Whenever you have 5, 6 houses, everything becomes really easy because you're gonna have such a good amount of cash flow. You're gonna have all your rents, everything. When you have 6, 7 houses, it really doesn't matter if somebody leaves. For example, now I'm prepping another house. It doesn't even matter. I don't even care because everything is a pain by itself. It's like a machine. Understanding FHA and physician's loan. The reason why I want you to understand what is an FHA loan is because when you're a resident and then you're like you have an steady income, you're a resident, you make $70,000, $80,000 a year, you can buy your first house. This is for first-time buyers. You can use FHA loan, which is subsidized by Freddie Mac, like backed up by the federal government. Basically, it's free money. You give them like 2%, 3.5%. You can acquire up to 4 units, which is a fourplex. You can buy a triplex, or you can buy a duplex, or you can buy a primary home. The bigger, the better. Basically, you can buy a fourplex. You, as a resident, acquire a fourplex, rent the other units, and then boom, done. And you keep moving. Whenever that will be the best resident strategy. Get your first property as a resident. You're gonna suffer a lot. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna feel overwhelmed. But that's the game. At the beginning, you don't understand anything, so you cannot figure it out. Remember, I was working nights, and after I leave my shift at the hospital, I have to go to Home Depot and figure it out. Until you learn, you get the people that is helping you, you get fully connected, and then after that, everything becomes so easy, extremely easy. You get your cash flow, you get your portfolio, everything becomes really easy. Then when you graduate, right as soon as you graduate, you're gonna get a contract with the company in Nevada and Washington, whatever, a contract that it says you're gonna be making $350,000, $400,000, $500,000. With that contract, you can acquire your first doctor's loans house, right? Who can qualify for this? Any physicians, there's like physician's loan. That's the name that we know it. We know physician's loan, but actually it's called professional loans, which they're available for MDs, DOs, chiropractors, PA, MPs, and dentists. They don't know, right? Because they're not as popular as doctor's loan, but actually it's the same loan. Whatever lender offers physician's loan, also the dentist can get that loan as well. It doesn't, because the real name of physician's loan is called professional loans. Everybody who is a licensed, who has a good contract, who has a good income, right? So the good thing about physician's loan is that it's 0% down. You're not gonna put any money down. I got a house 2 years ago for $800. And it has a studio in the back. That house made me $1,600 cash flow every month. It get paid on my principal $700 every month. So I'm winning 16. I'm building 700. The only money that I put down, it was $800 because the seller agreed to pay the 3% closing costs, and the 3% was enough to pay the closing costs. So that's the strategy that you gotta focus on. Acquisition. Acquire. You buy your houses, you buy your real estate, you keep yourself 12 months right there, you move to the next house, you keep acquiring every month. Every penny that you make at work, $300,000, $400,000, whatever you make, you buy your preferred stock, you buy your Bitcoin, all right? So you're gonna have your massive liquidity, which is gonna be right there at the spot whenever you need it. And then you're gonna buy your real estate, building equity, okay? So The good thing about physician's loan is that you don't have to pay any PMI, which is a primary mortgage insurance, like any other person, human being walking on earth that they want to buy a house. Most of the lender conventional loans, they ask you for 20% down, right? Which it could be $100,000, $200,000, right? So they lose their liquidity. You're parking your money into a real estate asset, like a house. That money that is parked right there, it's gonna grow 3, 4, 6% annually. Maybe not, maybe 2%, right? So you're losing because real estate, it's not a place to park money. Real estate is really good to hold real estate and build equity, right? Through the destruction of your debt, but not the place to park your money. Your money is going to be parked in a very liquid asset, right? So, but anyway, physician's loan, they don't pay PMI. You don't even have to pay a private mortgage insurance. You're going to get your house for 100% finance. And on top of that, you don't even need to pay a private mortgage insurance. So how good is this deal? How good is this deal? Plus, physician's loans are specific for doctors, American doctors who has a lot of debt because they're flexible to the debt to income ratio. Most of the lenders, they don't even count the debt that you have as a student loans against you. So how good is that? Giving you credit for being poor and in debt, right? Designated for high earners or students. So attending strategy. As soon as you sign your contract, boom, get your second house. Remember, you as a resident, you can get an FHA loan very easy, right? Or you as an attending, if you don't feel safe during residency, you as an attending, get your FHA loan property right at the spot. Get a 4-plex, get a triplex, get something big, nice. Then wait a year, and then next year you just get your another house, but using doctor's loan. FHA only for first-time buyers. Doctor's loan, you can have multiple houses. It doesn't matter as long as it's every year, right? Many people confuse. There's so many people who think that they understand doctor's loans. Is because they don't have experience. They never did 3, 4, 5, 6 acquisitions, right? They don't understand how the underwriters think about it, right? But I will tell you, most of the underwriters, they will allow you to have 3 properties, 2 to 3 properties under doctor's loan. Doctor's loan, it has a code. Every time that you want to get another house with doctor's loan or professional loans, the underwriter will tell you, hey, why you need another doctor's loan when you have 3 done in the last 3, 4, 5 years, right? So in order to avoid, you can say, my mom is moving in, I need this house, it's closer to the new hospital that I'm working. My son is moving to a different school. This is the school that we're moving, so it's closer to my son's school. My mom needs a mother-in-law studio in the back. You can say whatever, right? But the best thing, whenever you get 3 physicians loan, and then you're planning to get another one, the best option for you is to refinance the first house, right? And then just make that physician's loan a conventional loan. Basically, you're going to be refinancing. It doesn't matter what is the rate, if there's 2 points up, 2 points down, it doesn't matter. Just refinance that property, make it a conventional loan. And then in that way, you kind of deleverage from the physician's loan into conventional loans. And then the next underwriter is going to say it's fine, get it. Doesn't matter. Everybody wants their commission. A step-by-step wealth playbook. First, I told you, you're PGY 3, PGY 4. get an FHA loan. Trust me. Trust me. The sooner the better. The sooner the better. I know doctors who are 50 years old and they have no strategy. They barely have 2 houses and they're already done. There's no way to build wealth after 10 years. You gotta suffer the first 5 years, 10 years. That's the time to make money. That's the time that you're gonna buy your maximum amount of stocks. You're gonna acquire the maximum amount of real estate. That's the time that you're gonna buy the maximum amount of Bitcoins. So the first year, you're gonna get during residency, you're gonna get your FHA loan, 2, 3, 4. Be aggressive as possible. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Trust me. You're gonna rent your other units. You can hustle your way out of poverty. The second year, you're gonna be your first attending job. Buy another small house, 3 beds, 2 baths. No matter what your wife tells you, buy a small house, no pool, no HOA, and move to that house. It's gonna be a hassle, but do it. Trust me. Rent your 4-plex, your triplex. Move to the new house. Live there for a year or 18 months. Next year, get another physician's loan. Small house, 3 beds, 4 bed, 2 bath, 3 bath, no more than that. No pool, no HOA, and move to the other house. In 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna have 3 properties. The next house that you get, just because the rents were up and you got a positive cash flow, the amount of money from these 3 properties are gonna pay off your mortgage of the other house. That's unbelievable. It's so easy. So the next year, you have to refinance the first doctor's loan that you got into a conventional loan. Hopefully, you're going to have enough equity and you're going to be able to keep the 20% down of equity as required by the conventional. If not, just wait another year peacefully. Every penny that you make, buy Bitcoin, buy your preferred stock under your personal account. No 401k, no Roth IRA, nothing. Buy your stocks, your Bitcoins under your personal accounts, okay? So inflation and the power of debt. So let's say that you borrow 500,000 at 4% fixed. 10 years from now, it will be 300,000. It will be that inflation will make that 500,000 feel like 300,000, and meanwhile rents and property values goes up. Rents goes up always 2-3% a year. That's the law. It's the way how it is. You win, you're gonna win. It doesn't matter. I want you to pay attention to this phrase right here in the bottom. This is inflation-induced debt destruction. This is a trademark from Jason Hartman, which is one of the smartest guy I ever listened to. Jason Hartman is a genius in real estate, leveraging, macroeconomics, everything. He is a freaking genius. I started listening to Jason Hartman when I was in residency. And when I understood Jason Hartman, I was like, boom, everything clicked. This guy is a freaking genius. I always understood the central banking, how they print money, how they liquidate your life with money, with paper money. But it never I wasn't able to put it together into words until I understood Jason Hartman's his way of explaining everything. It's amazing. So I will show you a video. But inflation-induced debt destruction. So inflation will induce the destruction of your debt. If you have $10 million in debt, and inflation is 3% a year, right? So that means like from that $10 million, 300,000 is going to get liquidated every year, right? So that's basically like the numbers. Jason Harmon is one of the legends. That's why I put like that legend, the legend. Dave Ramsey is the fucking loser. I think that Dave Ramsey was one of the most like harmful human beings in the planet. The way how he think, the way how he advised people, the middle class. On top of that is the middle class, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's just if you listen to Dave Ramsey, you're gonna end up poor in a rat race, and you're gonna end up retired with one house, living paycheck to paycheck from your Social Security. Jason Harmon is a legend. Let me show you a video of Jason Harmon. So pay attention to this.
Goes down in value. Inflation. Most people think they make money on real estate because the real estate goes up in value. But what really happens is the debt goes down in value. Inflation-induced debt destruction, it's one of the secrets of the wealthy. With rental properties, we don't even pay our own debts. We outsource that obligation of debt repayment to someone called a tenant. The tenants pay the debt. So quite literally, if they pay the debt and we're borrowing at negative interest rates, and remember, that example I gave was only based on the official rate of inflation. The real rate is much higher, which makes the deal much better, okay? So with that, we're getting paid to borrow and someone is paying our debt for us. It's absolutely incredible. This is what's called self-liquidating debt. Most people think they make money.
Self-liquidating debt. That's so true. Let me show you something. This video is from the 80s. Interest rate at that time were 14%. And then follow me on Twitter. It says just find me, Run to Riches. I try to post short clips and then grab like a teaching point from the short clips. But in the 80s, interest rate, like it was 14%. So they were buying houses at $60,000. Do you think that the guy who bought one house every year for 10 years, and then in the 90s, he ended up with 10 houses, right? Do you think that he was stupid or he was smart? Do you think it was too risky? Do you think that he leveraged himself too much? And he bought 10 houses at 14% at $60,000. Tell me now, where is that guy right now? Do you think that he's driving DoorDash, Ubering, or he's fucking rich because he knew that the government only prints money? They don't print houses, right? Let me show you this clip, and then I'm going to move on.
10 Eyewitness News. On 10 Eyewitness News on the business beat. It is getting more expensive to buy a home, even though home prices are remaining relatively stable. The reason, as home buyers like Roberta Sorgan will tell you, is the high interest rate, pushing mortgage payments to $700 and $800 a month for a $60,000 home.
It was very high, but we have no choice when you want to buy a house, and that's what the mortgage rates are.
For home builders, the high interest rate is just like a massive migraine headache. Sunblest Condominiums in Sunrise, for example, was selling its homes exceptionally well when it first opened in January, but now with the interest rates at 14% for conventional mortgage, sales are going down the drain.
The amount of buyers is definitely starting to slow down, and it seems that if it goes much higher, it's like a faucet. You can just take it and turn it off.
Logically, though, bankers say they will never return to the days of the 8.5% mortgages in the 1970s because they say it's just too risky.
Nobody at this point is willing to make a fixed rate long-term loan at the old lower interest rates, even at rates of 10 or 11% now. And the reason is that we still have a large amount of old fixed rate loans on our books.
How long will the mortgage rates remain high? Well, probably until the financial people start seeing a drastic drop-off in home buying. It's an old rule of business. When demand falls, prices, in this case interest rates, usually go down too. In Sunrise, Jack Rolf-Holtz, Channel 10 Eyewitness News on the business.
Bullshit. Buy 10 houses as soon as you graduate. Back to back, back to back, back to back. Keep all the money that you make in a liquid asset, strong stocks and Bitcoin. If anything goes wrong 1 year through your real estate portfolio, you're gonna create a loan against your liquid assets, against your stocks or against your Bitcoin, and you're gonna cover the expenses of your real estate for 6 months, 2 months, 3 months. It doesn't matter. Protect yourself. Advice for new doctors: buy as early as possible, especially when you qualify for an FHA loan. This is going to be your first house. You're going to get an FHA loan. Don't listen to your wife. Your wife will drag you down. Your wife will tell you to buy a mansion when you can't afford it. You need to buy small houses that you're going to rent it out. That's how you're going to build your real estate portfolio. Don't buy a multi-million-dollar house, especially when you're young, because you're going to get stuck forever. I don't believe in home ownership. I don't believe in buying my primary home ever. I don't even know if I'm going to ever buy my primary home. All the houses that I bought are houses that are my primary home, but I know that I'm going to be able to rent it out, because that's my only main goal. My only main goal is to build my real estate portfolio and then build my liquid asset portfolio. So if one day I need to escape to another state or another country, I'm going to be like, boom, out, right? Don't fear good debt. Fix long term. That's the way how you short the dollar to all costs. You short the dollar. It's a trading strategy. You borrow money, right? From the future. You go to the future, 30, 40 years in the future. You grab that money, you acquire your assets, and then you pay the debt with cheaper money, because the money of the future is always cheaper. Don't fear good debt. Fix long-term, low-interest debt tied to appreciating assets. Good. Focus on location, rate potential, long-term equity. You buy your real estate in United States. I know so many doctors. I have a property in Dominican Republic. I have a property in Italy. I have a property in Argentina. I have a property in Brazil. That property, you can't refinance it, right? Probably you bought it in cash. And third, it doesn't produce any US dollars. You need an asset that is going to produce US dollars, because US dollars is the paper that everybody is going to respect for another 100 years. Oh no, but US dollar is going, I know it's going down, but I'm telling you, the only paper that's going to be respected for the next 100 years is going to be the US dollar. You don't go to fucking Thailand. You don't pay the people, the Thai. You don't go to Thailand and you pay in Brazilian pesos, in Portuguese peso. You don't pay in Argentinian pesos. They want dollars. Everybody wants dollars. So you buy your properties in the US. And then you buy your properties in your neighborhood. What I mean is like maximum 2 hours away from wherever you live or wherever you work. You move in that ratio. You buy your real estate right there. Multiple lenders. There's so many lenders. I mean, they're desperate to give you the money. So whenever you have your real estate portfolio, 10 houses, you're going to be able to qualify as a real estate professional status. This is a type of tax filing that you're going to be able to qualify. If your wife at that time, in 5-10 years, she doesn't going to work, she's going to be able to manage your real estate portfolio, right? And if she works part-time in something else, and then part-time in the real estate portfolio, and then she invests 750 hours per year, you're going to be able to qualify for real estate professional status. So the IRS, it will allow you to grab all your real estate portfolio, the value of your real estate portfolio, divided by 27 is going to give you a number. That number is going to be $200,000, $250,000, $300,000, right? Because you're going to do like a cost segregation study trying to figure out what is the value of the property and how much depreciation, right, you can take every year, because the IRS allow you to depreciate your properties, calculating that your property is going to survive only 27 years, right? So the value of the property divided by 27, so that number of your portfolio, that depreciation of money, you can offset your income tax. So let's say that you make $300,000, $400,000 a year as a physician, and then you pay $100,000 in income tax, $120,000 in income tax, because your real estate last year depreciated 200,000 or 120, right? So that offset the income tax. So the IRS will send you a check back to your address. They're gonna mail a check for $120,000. They will return your income tax because you were able to depreciate, offset your income tax. You don't need to understand this. It really doesn't matter now. The only thing that you have to do right now is just focus and protect your money. You gotta protect your money. Buy liquid assets under your name. Be fully liquid. Acquire real estate as soon as possible. Small, multiple, small. Keep yourself liquid. Don't buy a mansion. Don't buy a big house. Don't buy a house with a pool. Listen to me. You will thank me in the future. Okay. So I think that's pretty much. Follow me on Twitter, Round to Riches. It's a learning process. It's a learning process, but trust me, you will be so wealthy and have a multi-million-dollar portfolio. I have multi-million dollars in Bitcoin. The reason is because I don't give my money to anyone, because I don't trust anyone. Okay?
Let's always be real, so count 2, 3. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm here just to set you free.